Hello everyone, we are ready to go with another video today, and what we're going to do is we are going to look at the measures of angles. We've been talking about angles this whole lesson, and now we need to look at how do we measure angles. And we've already said that you measure angles in degrees, but those degrees can actually be expressed in two different ways. We can express them as whole degrees or decimal degrees. And then the second way to express that is with degree, minutes, and seconds. And depending upon your situation, both of those ways are used. If you're just looking at a protractor and measuring the degree measure of an angle, that's going to be with your decimal degrees. But if you're looking at a globe or at a GPS system, now they measure theirs with the global system, which is in degrees, minutes, and seconds. So we're going to look at how to change back and forth between these two systems today. So, first of all, let's look at degrees. And let's look and think what we have with degrees. First of all, there are 360 degrees in a circle. So that's an important thing to know. So if you've got all of your angles that are all together and make up a circle, you will know that the sum of all those angles have to equal 360 degrees. So that will help you as you're looking at various angles. Okay, so we have another thing we need to know is 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. Just like in 1 hour, 60 minutes equals 1 hour. And just like in the minutes and seconds, 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So now, if we want to know how many seconds are in 1 degree, well, what do you think it would be? Well, if I've got 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour, you're going to have 60 times 60, which is going to equal 3,600 degrees, or 3,600, seconds. So we have 1 degree is equal to 3,600 seconds. And that's all really important information for us to know in order to change back and forth between degrees and decimal degrees to minutes, degree, minutes, seconds. Okay, so let's look at one of these. Let's start first with your decimal degree. So this one is going to be in decimal degree. Let's say we have 37.5 degrees. So we have 37 whole degrees and half of a degree. So when we're going to go to minutes and seconds, so we're going to translate this to degree, minutes, seconds. DMS stands for degree, minutes, seconds. So we have 37 whole degrees. So the first thing I'm going to write down is my whole degrees. The part before the decimal is always your whole degrees. I have half of a degree. So half of a degree is going to be 0.5 times, well, our next unit of measure is 60 minutes. So if 1 degree is 60 minutes, I'm going to go half, or 0.5 times 60 minutes to find out how many minutes that will be, which will equal 30 minutes. So on this problem, I have 37 degrees, 30 minutes. And we can either write it in that form, or we can have 37 degrees, 30, and we can use 1 mark like we do for a foot to indicate your minutes. So 37 degrees, 30 minutes. So now let's look at an even harder one, And so we're gonna have 37 point, how about, 6.5, okay? 37.65 degrees. Again, my 37 is my whole part, so that isn't going to change. And that's your degree part. And now we need to find out how many minutes 65 hundredths of a degree would be. So again, just like in the other one, 0.65 times 60 is going to give me 0, 30, carry my 3, 6 times 6 is 36, 39 with 2 decimal places for the 0.65. So there's 39 minutes. And notice I have 0, 0 here, so I have no part of a minute left over. So this is 39 minutes. Okay? So that's how we do that one. And now we're going to have to look at the other way. If I go from decimal minutes second back to decimal degrees. Okay, let's erase this part. And I am going to get a calculator quickly because we're going to need it on this one. Okay, so let's start with, how about 45 degrees, 32 minutes, and how about 15 seconds? Well, our 45 isn't going to change because we're going from degree, minute, second to the decimal degree. So our 45 will be the same. So it's going to be 45 point. But now we have to know how much of a degree 32 minutes and 15 seconds is going to be. So the first thing we're going to have to do with this one now is to change 32 minutes to seconds and then add our 15 seconds on. So this is going to be 32 minutes times 60 seconds per minute is going to give you 0, 6 times 2 is 12, 18, 19, 1,920 seconds. Now, how much of a minute is that? Well, to find out how much of a minute it is, we have to take 1920 seconds divided by how many seconds are in 1 degree? 3,600. Okay, so what's that going to give us? 1920 divided by 3,600. And that's going to be 0.5333, and it's going to keep on repeating that 3 because it ends up being a fractional part. So we're going to round it to the 100th place value, so we're going to have 45.53 degrees. Okay? Let's look at another one. How about, 29 degrees and 55 minutes, and let's go with 45 seconds, okay? So 29 won't change because that's the whole degree part. Now we're going to have to find out how much of a degree is in 55 minutes and 45 seconds, just like we did before. Oh, I forgot to finish the other one. I forgot to add my 15 seconds. So this should have been 35, and that's going to change that answer. Let's redo that. Because I had to go 1920 plus 15 for my seconds. Okay, let's see. 1935 divide by 3600 gives you 5.5375. And this one actually does terminate. So I'm going to write the whole thing up here. 5375. Okay, let's do the same thing on this one. You're going to have 55 times 60 to find out how many seconds are in 55 minutes, which is going to be 55 times 60 is 3,300 plus 45 more seconds. So this will be 3,345 or 3,345. Now you're going to take your 3,345 and divide it by 3,600. How about this is equal to 0.929. Okay, so we're going to round this up to 93 because it does not terminate. So 93 degrees. Okay, so you can go either from degree, minute, second to decimal degree, or you can go decimal degree to degree, minute, second. And we're going to do two more of these, one way and one the other way. I'm going to make them a little bit harder. Okay, so first of all, let's go decimal degree to degree, minute, second. So decimal degree. How about, let's go 95.893. Okay, now it's going to be more complex. So 95 degrees. That one doesn't change. Now let's look at 0.893 because we're going to go to minutes first. So 0.893 times 60 will give us how many minutes we're going to have. And it's 53.58. In other words, we have 53 whole minutes and 58 hundredths of a minute. So we're going to take the whole part because that's how many minutes we actually have, and we will write it over here with what we've already done. So we have 95 degrees, 53 minutes. Now we have 58 hundredths of a minute left. And so we're going to have to find out how many seconds make up 58 hundredths of a minute. So 0.58 times 60 seconds, because there's 60 seconds in a minute. And let's find out what that is. And it is 34.8. Let's round that up to 35. So we're going to round it to 35 seconds. Okay, so we have 35 seconds. So you see how that's done? When you have a fractional part left, you have to take that fractional part and do it again to turn it into how many seconds. Now let's look at the other way. Degree, minute, second to decimal degree. Okay, so let's do one like, let's see, 110 degrees and 48 minutes. And how about 33 seconds? Okay, So we know 110 will be our first slot. 110 decimal point. Now we're going to have to go 48 times 60 and then add to that plus 33 to get the total number of seconds. So 48 times 60 plus 33 gives me a total number of seconds of 2,913 seconds. So 2,913 seconds divided by 3,600 will give us approximately how many degrees, how much of a degree that is. So divide by 3,600 gives you 0.80916. If we round to the 100th place value, we'd have 0.81. So we'll add that 0.81 to 110, making 110.81 degrees. Okay, I hope you don't have any questions, but if you do, you can come and see me.